Good morning, everyone. Sheila here in Boho Daydreams, and welcome to my channel. I hope everyone is having a marvelous day. I've been out in the public with my family now since last Wednesday, and it's really nice just to be able to wander around freely without any worry of anything. It was a fiasco and a super huge challenge this time. I think because provincially and federally, both of those health authorities are not working together. Anyway, it's really nice to be out, to be able to create and craft on a table, and to be able to craft with my granddaughter. She just loves it. She has made, I would say, a great big bowl full of her own dangles. I have given her some tools and wire and a wire cutter, and she has to do it all herself. And it's giving her skills that she's only 4. So she's got some great skills. So when she goes into kindergarten this year, she's going to be advanced in crafting. Anyway, so I've been working on dangles, and I was working on this little sweet pea while I was in isolation. And this is Sweet Alexa. And she is made with the extra heavy in cardstock index cards. I use the 3x5, and then I cut them in half. And the journal itself has 12 of those cards cut in half, so there's 24 little cards. And I always do one extra. And if it's salvageable, then it goes into a little package all on its own. So it's shades of gray, and it has black, gray, white napkins, and also some purple in it, a little bit of lavender and darker purple. And I used embossing powders, silver, white, and gold. I use the Holtz paper, as you can see. You know, by now I love, love, love the writing papers. And so I just cut or tear those pieces out and glue them on. I also have a lot of embossed papers, antique French paper and antique ledger paper. There's all sorts of paper in here. So this is what she looks like. She has her frame, and inside the frame she has her little rose stamp that I have colored with some perfect pearls and Pearl-Ex. And then she is embossed, and she's got some gold leaf, and she's got a little bit of gesso on her too. She has her gold heart. She's got some pearl fringe, and she's got a gray and black dangle, and then she's got the gold trims throughout. Now these, I'm going to link all of what I use in the description box, so you can take a look. These are the frames, and I just use some of the little jewels that fall out of my textiles. I just save them, I glue them into there. And for the powders that I used green patina and pink gold. I linked 2 in the description box, the green patina, but the pink gold is linked as a rose gold. And so it might just be a shade darker, which I think would probably show up a little bit better than this does. And then I just use highly pigmented pressed powders. And I don't know what they are because there's no names on them. And also the bags don't have names on them. And sometimes when I order stuff, I order it from all over the place, and I don't pay attention to where, to what the boxes say. I just open it. You can tell that my granddaughter has been using it. She uses it on all of her stamps that she has done. She's done plenty of wax stamps already. And this is the rose, the deep rose the wax seal that I have used. I think that's my favorite stamp. I've used it a lot. So these are the extra pieces that I didn't use. So I've just wrapped them up in a little piece of the silk that was left over. And there's some laces, some vintage trim antique laces, and then the two little papers that I didn't use, I just added them. And then there's also this beautiful little black and has a rosebud on it. I thought it was just so pretty. And also there's going to be a little gray heart that will be added to this little mini. And then here's the stick pin that I created for Sweet Alexa. And it has a tulip on it with just a pearl and then a little clear heart that is wrapped with gold. And these are by far my very favorite stick pins. I just love them. I love the way the dangle will just dangle over the edge. It just looks so beautiful. Let's see what else. And I also, this is what I use for wax. And these are just generic wax pellets or whatever you call it. And when I use for this stamp here, when I use it inside the frame, I use 4, but otherwise I only use 3. So let's just go inside this little sweet pea, and hopefully I can get through this quickly. Some of the stamps that I used have come from Lorna Taylor, and some of them come from, I have some links in the description box for some French stamps. And then some of these stamps, after I got them, they were unavailable after the fact. So I have all sorts of stamps, but it doesn't matter. You just use your stamps. They always look beautiful. Any script stamp looks beautiful. There's some antique laces, and the laces that I use come from Georgianne Miller Anderson this time. She made me a nice swatch box, a swatch package full of laces, and that's what I'm using. This is the little bit of purples that I have used. And as you see, that's always from Tim Holtz. And because I use silver embossing, I could use a lot of the silver mirrors too. And everything just works so well when you use gray. Here's an extra that I was working on. And I just tucked it into here, into this little belly band. And this uses the darker pressed powder. Just beautiful. And that can be used in another journal or wherever. Here is another piece of her antique laces. And it has one of the beads attached to it. There wasn't a lot to attach beads to in this little mini, so I had to attach them to the lace. Just a little bit of napkin. I love, love, love the white embossing. I just love the way this painted up. And you see here, there's some silver embossing there. So pretty. Just used a little bit of the vintage trim there and just made it into a belly band so something can be tucked in there. I love the gold stamping. This is one of the stamps that is no longer available, but Lorna Taylor has so many stamps that are very similar to that. Isn't that pretty? Oh, I just love the way this one turned out. Totally out of my comfort zone though. I did do a series of tutorials on all the techniques that I use and how I paint and stamp and what I use. So if you want to make your own, it's very easy to do that. Oh, my little flip. I love this. This is some really old lace. Probably use this a couple of times in here, and then I just glued 2 pieces of the pearl trim on, and it's this little flip up, and it just looks so perfect on top of the little purple flowers. That's one of Lorna's stamps. That's one of my favorites. I love that stamp. I love stamping that in white. Was so perfect on the way this paper took the color and the way it picked up the different layers. I just love it. And here too, this is very, very soft. This is another extra that I created. And I just glued on some very sheer lace so that it would become invisible, and then just popped on. I used the E6000 glue, so it's not going anywhere. And I just glued that on. And it's just so delicate there. When I make these little minis, they're designed for you to enhance them, to add your favorite little pictures or a saying or something that inspires you to your pages. And here's another piece of vintage lace. This is some of my favorite kind of lace. And there's the contemplation stamp. I love this. I love how that all just blends together. I had such a hard time covering all of that up, so I didn't use a lot of napkins everywhere, just a little bit. And here we come to the end, and I just added a little bow. I was going to put a bead on the back, and I might still do that. I didn't know if I would do that, but I really like the way that turned out. So this is Sweet Alexa, and she may be claimed. I'm not entirely sure, but we'll see. If she's not, then I will make her available in the group. I hope all of you are having a wonderful, wonderful day, and I will be back soon. Bye-bye.